If you only hear one side of the story, you have no understanding at all. Procrastination is a lazy man's apology. There is that great proverb, that until the lions have their own historians, the history of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. Nobody can teach me who I am. You can describe parts of me, but who I am, and what I need, is something I have to find out myself. As a rule, I don't like suffering to no purpose. Suffering should be creative, should give birth to something good and lovely. The lizard that jumped from a high iroko tree to the ground said he would praise himself if no one else did. One of the truest tests of integrity is its blunt refusal to be compromised. When an old man dies, a library burns to the ground. My weapon is literature. If you don't like someone's story, write your own. When suffering knocks at your door and you say there is no seat for him, he tells you not to worry because he has brought his own stool. The only thing we have learned from experience is that we learn nothing from experience. An angry man is always a stupid man. When a madman walks naked, it is his kinsmen who feel shame, not himself. People say that if you find water rising up to your ankle, that's the time to do something about it, not when it's around your neck. When brothers fight to death, a stranger inherit their father's estate. The world is like a mask dancing. If you want to see it well, you do not stand in one place. It is praiseworthy to be brave and fearless, but sometimes it is better to be a coward. We often stand in the compound of a coward to point at the ruins where a brave man used to live. If you don't like someone's story, write your own. If you don't like what somebody says, say what it is you don't like. An old woman is always uneasy when dry bones are mentioned in a proverb. While we do our good works, let us not forget that the real solution lies in a world in which charity will have become unnecessary. Every lizard lies on its belly, so we cannot tell which has a bellyache. When a tradition gathers enough strength to go on for centuries, you don't just turn it off one day. Let the kite perch and let the eagle perch too. If one says no to the other, let his wing break. The sun will shine on those who stand before it shines on those who kneel under them. When a coward sees a man he can beat, he becomes hungry for a fight. There was a saying in Umuofia that as a man danced, so the drums were beaten for him. There is no story that is not true. There is a moral obligation, I think, not to ally oneself with power against the powerless. We cannot trample upon the humanity of others without devaluing our own. I feel that the English language will be able to carry the weight of my African experience. But it will have to be a new English, still in full communion with its ancestral home but altered to suit new African surroundings. There is nothing to fear from someone who shouts. Age was respected among his people, but achievement was revered. As the elders said, if a child washed his hands he could eat with kings. You do not know me, said Tortoise. I am a changed man. I have learned that a man who makes trouble for others makes trouble for himself. Art is man's constant effort to create for himself a different order of reality from that which is given to him. The damage done in 1 year can sometimes take 10 or 20 years to repair. A man who does not lick his lips, can he blame the harmattan for drying them? Storytellers are a threat. They threaten all champions of control, they frighten usurpers of the right to freedom of the human spirit, in state, in church or mosque, in party congress, in the university or wherever. Do not be in a hurry to rush into the pleasures of the world like the young antelope who danced herself lame when the main dance was yet to come. A man who makes trouble for others is also making trouble for himself. The women are, of course, the biggest single group of oppressed people in the world and, if we are to believe the book of Genesis, the very oldest. When a man is at peace with his gods and ancestors, his harvest will be good or bad according to the strength of his arm. When mother cow is chewing grass, its young ones watch its mouth. People create stories create people, or rather stories create people create stories. If a child washed his hands, he could eat with kings. Wisdom is like a goatskin bag, every man carries his own. It is the storyteller who makes us what we are, who creates history. The storyteller creates the memory that the survivors must have, otherwise their surviving would have no meaning. Nigeria is what it is because its leaders are not what they should be. You must develop the habit of skepticism, not swallow every piece of superstition you are told by witch doctors and professors. Whenever you see a toad jumping in broad daylight, then know that something is after its life. Even the village rainmaker no longer claimed to be able to intervene. He could not stop the rain now, just as he would not attempt to start it in the heart of the dry season, without serious danger to his own health. A man who pays respect to the great paves the way for his own greatness. A toad does not run in the daytime for nothing. A man who lived on the banks of the Niger should not wash his hands with spittle. Whatever music you beat on your drum, there is somebody who can dance to it. Become familiar with your home, but know also about your neighbors. The young man who never went anywhere thinks his mother is the greatest cook. Once a novel gets going and I know it is viable, I don't then worry about plot or themes. These things will come in almost automatically because the characters are now pulling the story. A kinsman in trouble had to be saved, not blamed. Anger against a brother was felt in the flesh, not in the bone. Literature, whether handed down by word or mouth or in print, gives us a second handle on reality. We hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Share your thoughts on the comments section below. We welcome your criticisms and advice and areas you will like us to improve. Subscribe to Ancient Wisdom Waves for more videos like this.